You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome back to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and today we have a very huge, amazing show. We're going to talk to a special guest today. Today, we're sitting down with former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, a senior advisor to former President Joe Biden, a former CNN political commentator, and she's serving all three branches of government as judge, council member, and mayor. She has a new powerful book, The Rough Side of the Mountain, that we're going to be discussing this morning. First and foremost, just want to welcome you to the show and say how you doing.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time. I know you have a full calendar, so from the jump, when you think about the process of writing this amazing book, very heartfelt, what was going through your mind in prepping yourself emotionally and presenting the story?
I think in so many ways I was not prepped emotionally, and especially when I recorded the audio version of it, there were moments where I literally wept. You know what it's like to put on headphones and it's almost as if you're listening to someone else speak. So to hear me speak the words about things that I don't think I'd ever even processed or allowed myself to process emotionally it was quite emotional. I was very thankful to be going through therapy, talking to my therapist regularly as I wrote, because I don't know that I would have felt I don't know that I would have felt free to tell my story in the way that I did had I not been processing so many things that, quite frankly, I packed away.
In your book, you talk about your grandparents' Westside Atlanta home, full of Sunday dinners, a lot of love. What do you hope that people can appreciate from that part, that chapter about your grandparents' love, and how did it help shape you?
My grandparents never completed high school. My grandfather never finished the 8th grade, and they were the most loving, just smartest, most, they were the rock of our family. And what I hope that people take away is not always the big things. We often feel, especially in the age of social media, that you have to give so much in material ways to make your family or the people around you happy, or that if you can't provide for them in these material ways that you're falling short. And for me, it was just the love and knowing that they were there, and just the bond of sitting in the living room with my family on Sundays, and having my grandmother cook a meal every Sunday, and just the fellowship, and just knowing that they were there for us, it was a difference maker for me.
When you look at the hardest chapters of your life, they sometimes can become the very foundation for leadership, resilience, and purpose. When you think about what happened at 8 years old regarding your father and watching him being put in handcuffs, what does stories like that teach you personally about being strong in the moment, but also enduring pain?
For me, I opened the book writing about my dad, Major Lance, who was a very famous singer in the 1960s, and how his going to prison changed our lives, going from this life of, going to ballet lessons on weekends to visiting my dad in prisons across the state, and watching my mom struggle, literally, to try and keep our lights on and keep gas in the car. And I just hope that for anybody who's going through something, just knowing that as long as there's a tomorrow, it can and will get better. I didn't always see that when I was 8 years old, and Aretha Franklin said it best, that when you go up the smooth side of the mountain, it doesn't give you anything to hold on to. It's the rough side that gives you something to hold on to. And I was well into adulthood before I appreciated that sentiment, that all these rough patches in life were just preparing me for greatness in many ways. And not necessarily professional greatness, like being on a national or world stage, but just the greatness of being powerful of being somebody who is resilient, somebody who's been through some tough times and still been able to stand and push forward.
Once again, this is I Am Refocused Radio this morning, talking to our special guest today, Keisha Lance Bottoms, and also about her powerful book, The Rough Side of the Mountain. I mean, come on, you need to go get a copy of this book ASAP. My next question for you is, you have reached the highest levels. I mean, have you ever stopped and said, wow, am I dreaming? Or was this something that you felt like you really wanted to do?
Every day that I walked into the White House, I never took it for granted. I was always reminded of literally that this was a house that slaves built, and that I was privileged enough to walk into that place and to work on behalf of the American people, and that a president of the United States, the most powerful position in the world, that I got to sit in that Oval Office and lend a voice and represent people who otherwise would never even get to see or touch or feel the White House. So I never once took that for granted.
Well, last question for you. What one truth from the Rough Side of the Mountain would you hope that readers will be able to carry into their next chapter in their own personal life as they continue their own climb?
Very simply put, you are enough. Whatever your background, whatever you have experienced, whatever hardships you have faced, it's all a part of your story, and it shouldn't be hidden. It shouldn't be tucked away. It should never be something that you are ashamed of. You are enough, and for every mountain that you've had to climb, God has prepared you with the good days and the bad days.
Once again, that's former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. Get a copy of the book right now, The Rough Side of the Mountain, best-selling author. I mean, her title has a lot of details. I can probably spend another hour talking about it. But first and foremost, I want to say thank you for taking time this morning talking to us today, and best wishes for you.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you.